I've never actually said this publicly, but I used to drink pretty much every weekend from the age of 18 to 20 because it was considered the norm in our society. Until 500 days ago, where I decided to challenge that norm and quit drinking, and I've been headache free since. If you're watching this video, you're either seriously considering to quit the drink, or you're just extremely hungover the next day after you've told yourself you're never going to drink again, and you'll probably drink next weekend, let's be honest. Either, this video is for you, so I want you to hear me out. Because I'm here to tell you the incredible pros, but also the pretty brutal cons that come from quitting the booze. As well as how to remove it from your life forever and not be seen as some boring old fart who never drinks and doesn't get invited to anything. First, let's dive into the pros. First of all, in my experience, I found way more joy in my day-to-day life. Weekends used to be something I craved for the wrong reasons, which meant feeling really crappy in the week and I just didn't want to do anything in the weekday and only look forward to the weekend so I can then go to the pub or do something adventurous. Next, I use my money in so many different ways now. Just because I don't use that £50 on a night out doesn't mean I don't spend it or I stay at home and do nothing all day. Instead, I spend that £50 on something I genuinely enjoy spending money on and don't regret at all, like going for a nice meal out with friends, going on a road trip with my girlfriend, or discovering a new part of the country. I've also learned to be more present. I feel like I actually face my problems more being sober than I would when I was drinking, because on the weekend, if I've had a stressful week, I'd forget about my problems by just going out with my friends and having a drink. And finally, I've learnt more about myself. I've actually learnt that I still enjoy going out with my friends. I still enjoy going out to bars and clubs and not drinking. The joy of knowing that I don't need a drink in order to go on that dance floor and have a good time or go out and have a good time is like the best feeling ever. Now, there's loads of other pros: improved sleep, improved health, improved happiness. I've uploaded more on YouTube. It sounds like a dream, right? Well, in the long run, it truly has been. However, things weren't easy for me at the start when I first quit drinking. Let me explain to you the pretty brutal cons that come with it. The biggest con of not drinking is that you've just got to accept that some friends or some people might not be okay with it, and you've just got to accept that. In fact, that's okay, because I love challenging standards and going against the norm, because it's like a fast track to finding out who your friends and the people you love really are, because they will support you through it and they will not judge you. Because I always live by, if my friends don't want to be my friends because they don't accept this decision that I've made, then were they really my true friends in the first place? The next big con is that you might feel left out. It's just the truth. Now, I must clarify that being sober does not mean that you stay at home on a Friday and Saturday night, put on Harry Potter. As good as that sounds, that is something you can do. It doesn't have to be like that. Sobriety is seen as this stereotypical boring thing, and it shouldn't be like that. Now, these cons are pretty tough to deal with at first. Losing friendships, maybe being left out of certain activities, not getting invited to certain things. It's not easy, but I like to twist it all and turn it into a pro. Again, I love the challenge. You get to allow people to go in and out your life, and that's okay. You get the people who come in and support your decision, and you leave out the people who simply don't appreciate your decision. So definitely have a conversation with your friends or your parents or your family before even considering doing it, because I think it's something that it's good talking about first and the reason you're doing it, than just going, I've completely quit drinking. They're like, what on earth? If they understand the decision, maybe that will really help you and them understand and support you as well. So how do you actually quit alcohol? My favorite part. You're toying with the idea, but you don't know if you're fully going to be able to commit to quitting. Well, listen to this. The first step is that you must commit to quitting. You cannot say, oh, I'm going to quit for a week and then go back to it. No. You must quit. You can't say I'm going to have one or two maybe every weekend. No, you've got to quit. If you're going to commit to quitting, you need to quit. You can't have one or two, because that will just lead to another temptation, then another temptation. I will not drink this year. I will not drink for the next 6 months. I will not drink for the next 3 months. Now, the next step is actually understanding why you want to quit in the first place. Let me note that it has to be a reason strong enough to keep you away from that drink and keeping to your good habits. Now, that sounds quite challenging, so let me give you an example that really stuck in my head for the last 500 days. Tom Holland said on a podcast that he was worried that he had an alcohol problem. Now, he knew he didn't, but deep down in his head, he was thinking, do I have an alcohol problem? Because I keep going back to this thing every week and I can't even do a month without it. So he set himself the challenge to go 6 months without it. And you know what happened? That was strong enough in him that he continued, and after that 6 months, never went back to drinking. So write down on a piece of paper all the reasons that you want to quit and highlight the most important ones to you, and that is going to be your core reason. So congratulations, you're now on the path to removing alcohol completely. What do I do with my Saturday and my Friday nights now all my friends are going to the pub? Well, here's your 3-month plan. Month 1, from my experience, you actually need to take a little bit of a step back from surrounding yourself with activities that just involve alcohol, like going to the pub. or going to a bar. This is because bad habits are so easy to break back into because there are triggers in your head that associate yourself, for example, with drinking. You go to the pub, that triggers, oh, I want to drink. I've got my phone in my pocket, oh, I'm bored. Trigger, I'm going to go on my phone because I'm bored. Now, month 2, as you become a little bit more comfortable, you can introduce going to the pub with your friends if that's what they want to do. You can introduce going to a club. In fact, I actually encourage it because it forces you to challenge yourself to see how well you've really been behaving this last month or 2. So go to the pub, go to the club and challenge yourself. Don't have any alcohol and have a good time. Being sober doesn't mean you're not going to go to, let's say, weddings or parties ever again, because that is going to be the case. So this is going to challenge your mental to see whether you can stick with your habits and be a good boy. Okay, be a good boy. Now, finally, month 3. Now, this is where I want you to evaluate. How have you been feeling? Where have you felt tempted? Where do you feel like you need to go, I'm not going to do that as much anymore, or I'm going to leave this out? Where do you need to go, this is where I feel good, this is the friends I feel better hanging out with? What works for you? What has worked over the 2 months and what hasn't? And remove the stuff that hasn't and keep the stuff that has. But I think you will realise that you don't enjoy every weekend actually doing the same thing anymore, and you love a bit of change, but I've got to clarify again, it's not easy. Now, please comment any questions you might have below. I'd love to answer them, help you guys out and support you, because that is what this video is for. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.